Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ashley Beeman Show. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is very real and very doable, even if you think it's not. And that's, what would it actually look like to lose 20 pounds by Christmas? Here's the thing. We are in the 8th month of 2025. Like, how the heck did we already get here? I don't even know. But by this point, you either are crushing your goals or you have completely ghosted them, and you think that you're just going to wait until the new year in order to start taking some action, and you're going to reset those New Year's resolutions to lose weight again for the 18th million time. But here's the thing. If we want to create some sustainable change with our health, with our fitness, with weight loss, we are going to specifically focus on weight loss this month. This episode, I don't really like to say like a certain amount, because the thing is like everybody loses weight in a different at a different rate. Every single body releases weight at a different rate. Every single life is different. The way that you show up is going to be different. But the thing is you can absolutely see some sort of weight loss results by Christmas. And we've got roughly about 4 months left in this year. So I want to talk to you about how you can do that. Because when we create a pattern interrupt, which this would be a pattern interrupt, if your pattern is that you're normally waiting for the new year to start on your weight loss journey, and then by the middle of the year you kind of give up and then you restart every January, you've basically trained your subconscious mind to continue that pattern. And in order to break that pattern, in order to lose the weight and keep it off for a long period of time, we have to create a pattern interrupt. So instead of waiting until the new year to start this weight loss journey, why not start it now? Because there's more than enough time to make a dramatic change, but only if you're willing to stop, let me get my words straight, to stop overcomplicating it and really truly dial in the basics. And before you roll your eyes at me and say, I already know the basics, my question is going to be, are you consistently doing them for a long period of time? Because knowledge is never the problem, execution is. So if I wanted to drop 20 pounds by Christmas, I wouldn't go searching for the next quick fix. I wouldn't jump into the newest fat loss trend or cut out all my carbs. I'd simply lock in the foundational habits and stay brutally consistent with them for the next 4 months. So here is exactly what that would look like. Number one, I would work on my relationships, because we have relationships with multiple things, right? With my body, food, and consistency. So this one is so important. It's something that not a lot of people talk about, but our mindset and our beliefs and our identity are the way that we show up on a daily basis. I can teach you how to do fat loss so easy. However, if you're not making identity shifts while you are in your fat loss phase, you're going to have a really hard time to sustain that weight loss afterwards. There's some other things that factor into this as well, but we really have to work on our beliefs and the way that we show up and the way that we talk to ourselves and the way that we feel around food, the way that we feel around the scale. So start to think about these things that you need to work on. It doesn't have to be all worked on at once. It could be worked on, you could focus on one thing each month as you move through the next 4 months, but really choosing to talk nicely to yourself, to be your biggest hype woman. When you consistently talk trash about your body, you subconsciously reinforce that belief that you don't deserve change. So start speaking life over your body today. You don't have to love everything about it, but respect it enough to speak it like it's something that you care about. So once you start to work on your mindset, what are the next practical tips that I would do? The second thing that I would do is I would walk 30 to 45 minutes every single day. Walking is literally the most underrated thing that we can do, not only for our body, for our health, for weight loss, but also for our mental health. And you're going to realize through this episode that that is a big piece when it comes to weight loss. I truly believe that health is all encompassing, meaning it includes your mind, your body, and your soul. It works together as an entire unit. It doesn't work together in parts. And if you've been working on just parts of it, this is why the results haven't been sustainable. So walking will improve fat loss, digestion, your blood sugar, energy, stress management, not just when you're motivated, not just when it's pretty outside, like really increasing your steps every single day. If you are currently getting like 3,000 steps a day, start by increasing that to 5,000. Or if you're getting 5,000, maybe increase that to 7,000. I wouldn't like just jump from 3,000 to 10,000 because this gets to be something that's gradual, right? We're always focused on slow weight loss is the most sustainable weight loss. Nobody ever regrets losing weight slowly, but most people will regret losing weight quickly. So even with this like 4-month transformation, it can be a slow and steady pace as you move through each month. The third thing that I would do is I would eat in a calorie deficit, but I wouldn't go cutting 1,000 calories or all of your carbs or anything like this. I'm not talking about starving. I'm talking about really truly finding your calorie deficit, where your body is at, and eating at that calorie deficit consistently. Not just like 80-20. Let's bump that up to 90-10. Let's really dial things in when it comes with nutrition, because this is where you're going to see most of your results. Now, the easiest way for you to find your calorie deficit is not going to be from a coach. It's not going to be from an online calculator. And yes, I am a coach and I can calculate your macros for you. However, your body is the only thing that's going to determine what a calorie deficit is. If you are not losing weight, you are not in a calorie deficit. So that means, how can you find what your calorie deficit is? I suggest for 3 to 5 days, tracking everything that you're eating. This doesn't have to be something where you're like shooting for a calorie goal or a macro goal. Simply just putting into a calorie tracking app what you're eating on a daily basis right now. Don't change anything, because this is going to give you your baseline. If you have been maintaining your weight, this is likely close to your maintenance calories. If you've been gaining weight, then you're probably in a calorie surplus. And from there, we want to start backing off like 100 to 200 calories as we move through the calorie deficit. But you don't want to jump into like 1,000 calorie deficit or even a 500 calorie deficit, because the truth is eventually you're going to hit a plateau. And in order to break through a plateau, it's actually really simple. People overcomplicate the ish out of it, but you have to decrease your calories and increase your movement. And so if you're starting off by going as hard as possible, doing as much as you can, when you hit that plateau, you're going to have a really hard time. So I would rather it be slow and steadily, be gradually decreasing your food and increasing your movement than trying to do an overnight halt. Again, remember, we're trying to create a pattern interrupt so we don't create the same patterns that we've been creating. And if you've been yo-yo dieting, you're probably going to the extreme right away and then gaining all the way back, and then going to the extreme and gaining weight back. It is a slow and steady burn when it comes to your calories and your body movement and all of that. So once you find out what that calorie deficit is, track it, plan it, stick to it. I would stick to a calorie deficit for 3 to 4 weeks before ever changing it. If you're not being consistent with it, you don't have the data in order to change it. And if you're not able to be consistent at a higher level of calories or a higher number of calories, I wouldn't decrease them, because it's not going to make it easier. In fact, it's going to make it harder for you to stick to. The fourth thing that I would do is I would cut or eliminate alcohol. Let's be honest, alcohol is one of the biggest fat loss killers there is. Not only does it add empty calories, but it also lowers our inhibition. It makes it more likely for you to overeat. It makes you feel like crap the next day. And it really will start to affect your sleep. It'll affect your hormones. And if you're drinking consistently throughout the week and you are still eating in a calorie deficit and you're not seeing weight loss, it's because of the alcohol. Most people who cut out alcohol start to see results right away. And it's not only just because the alcohol is poison, because it is poison. And it does, when you ingest alcohol, it's basically stopping all fat loss. So it wants to eliminate the poison before it starts to eliminate more of your fat. The truth of the matter is if you're really great throughout the week, but then you're drinking all weekend long, you're not going to see results, because you're not staying consistent through the weekend. And that's not even like 80-20. That's more like a 60-40. Alcohol will definitely hold you back from being consistent. So if you want to be consistent more often than not, I would cut it back or I would eliminate it completely. Now, if you don't have a problem with alcohol, then you can skip that one. You don't have to worry about it. The next thing that I would do is I would be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. You don't need another supplement. You basically just need to go to bed earlier. Here is the thing. When you can start waking up earlier, you're probably actually going to get better sleep at night because you're going to be tired by the end of the day. And so you are going to get more rest when you have exerted all of your energy throughout the day, right? And here the thing is sleep is where the recovery happens. And the recovery is where the results happen. I know that we think that the results happen when we are working out and moving our body, but truly it happens when we are recovered. The other thing is sleep will help regulate your hunger hormones. So if you're having problems sticking to a calorie deficit and you're getting like little to no sleep, I guarantee you once you start increasing your sleep, you are going to feel less hungry. It will impact fat loss more than most people realize. So whatever you need to do to sleep more, figure that out. Okay. And the sixth thing that I would do is I would lift weights 3 to 5 times a week. Here is the thing is muscle will help to burn more calories. Also, we don't want to be losing any muscle while we're going through a fat loss phase. Muscle is like the fountain of youth. It helps our body move better. It helps us to burn more calories through the day. And the thing is like cardio alone isn't going to shape your body. So in order for us to maintain the muscle that we already have, we need to make sure that we are lifting and we are lifting heavy because this is what's going to help us to sustain the weight loss that we have created over these last 4 months so that we don't have to continue the cycle of yo-yo dieting. I see this so much where women just want to do cardio to lose the weight and they skip the weightlifting, which again, they're going to start losing muscle as they go into a calorie deficit. And then when they start to come out of the calorie deficit, their calories can't be as high. They don't have as much flexibility because they have lost so much muscle. Your body will thrive off muscle. And trust me, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're not going to be getting bulky or anything like that. I would focus on lifting heavy and progressive overload so that you can actually see yourself change. And for most people, if you've never done a progressive overload type of lifting where you are focusing on lifting to failure and you are increasing the weights week after week, you can probably still keep your calories pretty high and see a significant change in your body when it comes to body composition. So losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, maybe the scale doesn't move in, but I can guarantee that your body will completely transform. Make sure that you are taking more data and more progress than just the scale. So using pictures, measurements, the way your clothes fit, celebrating the fact that you have been consistent in the habits that you have created. Celebrate the fact when you hit PRs in the gym. There are all different kinds of ways to track progress, not just the scale. The scale, yes, you can use the scale. I suggest using the scale. I could do a whole episode on the scale. I probably should do an updated episode on that. But it's not the only thing. It's one piece of the puzzle. And the last thing that I would do if I was trying to lose 20 pounds by Christmas is have an exit strategy out of the fat loss phase. Everybody thinks that we just live in this fat loss phase. We need to live in a calorie deficit, and that's not the case. The reason why most people do not successfully sustain their weight loss is because they do not have an exit strategy. They don't know how to reverse diet. They don't know how to come out of a fat loss phase. They simply just go back to the way life was before, probably because they haven't worked on their identity through the process, or they've gone way too extreme. And so they don't have any willpower and they don't have a plan to come out of that extreme. And so they just start gaining that weight back pretty rapidly. So having a plan to move out of that. So that's it. It's nothing fancy. It's not magic. It's just the unsexy habits done consistently over time. And here's the truth that most people don't like hearing. You do not need a new plan. You need to start following the plan that already works without falling off every single weekend or running back to old habits when life gets busy. So if you are ready to stop winging it and actually follow a proven step-by-step plan, I actually have a program starting next week, August 24th, called Next Level Shred. It's going to cover everything that we went over in this episode. It is a 4-month, 17-week program. We have 1 week of a prep week, and then we move into a 12-week fat loss phase. And then I help you with your exit strategy. I help you to reverse out of the fat loss phase so that you can get to maintenance, you can enjoy the holidays, have a little bit more flexibility, and really just celebrate and own and feel confident about the transformation that you created. This is so much more than just a body transformation. This really is about a transformation from the inside out. And so if you're ready to go all in, if you're ready for the next level shred of your body and your mind, this is going to be the program for you. So I currently have 5 spots available left for next level shred, and then it is completely sold out. So once it's sold out, there's no more spots available. I will post the link to the program below. If you have any questions at all, please send me a message, and I am open, like no pressure. Jump in my inbox, whether you want to send me an email on Instagram, Facebook, I don't care where you find me, TikTok, all the things. Send me a message and I will respond back to that message, and we can see if next level shred is a fit for you. If you're not quite ready to go all in, I would suggest getting inside of my membership, the Fit Freedom Society. It's a little bit more hands off, but it's a really great way for you to create some sustainable habits over the next 4 months. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to see your transformation over the next 4 months. If this spoke to you, please share it with somebody that you think that could help, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.